Hi guys, it's MTG here, and today I'm going to take another look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Since I reviewed it, a lot of other smartphones have gained a lot of attention, like the iPhone X, OnePlus 5T, and Pixel 2 XL among others. Although those are terrific phones that I use a lot on a daily basis, I still keep finding myself missing certain features that are available on the Note 8. In this video, I'm going to go into detail as to why the Note 8 is still the phone that I recommend most for people looking for a new smartphone. Let's get right into it. This video is brought to you by Big Apple Buddy. They help people around the world buy from US online stores. They'll take care of the entire purchasing process so you can buy the products that you never thought you could. Use my promo code MTG2020 for $10 off your first order and to help the channel out. Check the description for more info. I'll briefly run over the design and specifications just to remind you of the fact that the Note 8 is no doubt a premium smartphone both internally and externally. The Note 8 has Corning's Gorilla Glass 5 on its front and back, whereas the frame of the phone is aluminum. Samsung has really stepped up their design game in recent years, and the Note 8 is no exception. Internally, the Note 8 has an impressive 6GB of RAM. The phone is powered by an octa-core mobile processor that is either the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 or Samsung's Exynos 8895, depending on where you purchase the phone. It has dual 12-megapixel cameras that can record video at up to 4K at 30 frames per second, and has dual optical image stabilization. In terms of security, it has a fingerprint sensor and an iris scanner. But to be honest, the specifications aren't anything crazy. All recent flagships have very comparable specifications, and even the design isn't very unique. What makes a phone stand out is how you interact with it on a daily basis and the bang for your buck that you get. So specifications aside, I wanted to start off by telling you some of the many features that Samsung brings to the table with the Note 8 that have made it stand out of the crowd for me. The first thing you notice when you pick up the Note 8 is the massive high-resolution display that it has. You have to see the QHD Plus display in person to truly understand just how high quality the display is. Text looks crisp and colors pop. Everything looks terrific on this phone, whether it be normal web pages, social media, or YouTube videos. Smartphones are being used more and more for media consumption, and the Note 8 screen remains the best for that purpose. The Super AMOLED display is also plenty bright enough to see outside even on the brightest of days. Especially because I mainly use the Pixel 2 XL, I do really miss how terrific the screen on the Note 8 is in low and bright light. As base storage capacities increase on smartphones, so does the amount of space that files take up. 4K files are very large, and as apps increase their quality and increase their features, those begin to take up more space as well. Expandable storage is a feature that content creators love because you can just swap the microSD card in and out and instantly have more storage. But also for the average consumer, expandable storage could prove to be very useful as your phone begins to fill up its storage. Another thing expandable storage allows you to do is upgrade your phone after the fact. You can see if you need the storage, and if you do, you can buy a microSD card up to 256 gigs for a relatively inexpensive storage upgrade. This feature is a tricky one, because especially in 2018, we might not even see a smartphone with a headphone jack. It's understandable because we do need to improve wireless technology, but a headphone jack right now is still very useful. I own wireless headphones and wireless earphones, and just about all newer speakers and cars have Bluetooth, so usually not having a headphone jack is not an issue. However, in those instances where your wireless headphones run out of battery, or the Uber passes you the aux, you'll still be able to listen to music with your Note 8 because it has that 3.5mm headphone jack. A feature that I took for granted on the Note 8 is its ability to output audio to multiple speakers or multiple wireless headphones. Bluetooth 5.0 isn't that new of a feature, so I'm still confused as to why other phone manufacturers haven't utilized dual audio. More people do have wireless headphones and speakers, and it's cool being able to connect to two different audio output devices even if they are different brands. Another feature that I took for granted was Samsung Pay. On my Note 8, I set up Samsung Pay with my debit and credit cards, and they're always there securely whenever I need them. There have been instances where I've forgotten my wallet, and because of Samsung Pay and the technology behind it, I'm able to use my phone to do the transaction even if it's an old credit card terminal. Many people don't realize the fact that Samsung Pay can work at even the oldest of credit card terminals because it sends a signal that tricks the terminal into thinking an actual card was swiped. Unique to the Note lineup, the S Pen is a productivity tool that could even help the average consumer. With the S Pen, I'm able to edit and sign PDFs, write notes, and draw on screenshots. But also with the S Pen, I'm able to highlight and translate text, click little menu buttons in web pages, hover over items to see more information, and draw pictures in Snapchat. The S Pen is a very cool tool to have, and it just tucks away unnoticed whenever you don't need it. The Note 8 has a lot of the features that you could ask for in the smartphone. I didn't even mention the fast wireless and cable charging capabilities of the phone, or the fact that it's IP68 water and dust resistance. But a phone could have all the features in the world, and if it doesn't have a user experience that's great, people won't pay it any attention. Until recently, Samsung flagships were known to have lots of cool new features, but also have an annoyingly clunky and stuttery TouchWiz skin. With the 2017 flagships, this changed drastically. With its latest Android skin, Samsung elected to make the interface more simple. Icons are noticeably minimalistic, and menus are cleaner. We still get redundant Samsung apps, but overall the user experience has become very pleasant. The interface is very clean, and the processor coupled with the 6GB of RAM allow the phone to remain snappy and multitask effortlessly. Even without Android Oreo, the Note 8 has features like split screen, a blue light filter, and an always-on display thanks to Samsung always keeping their phones feature-packed. Little features like being able to utilize scroll capture to automatically stitch together a longer screenshot make me appreciate Samsung's forward thinking with their flagships. In terms of its camera system, the Note 8 doesn't really blow you away like the Pixel 2 XL can, but it does have a really great camera system. The Note 8 has a really solid camera setup that takes impressive pictures regardless of whether there is good lighting or low lighting. I have in-depth camera comparisons of the Note 8 with the S8, Pixel 2, iPhone X, and OnePlus 5T, so check those out for more test shots and video tests. Something else I wanted to touch on is the fact that Samsung devices do last a long time. My dad still has a Note 4 and is reluctant to upgrade because, frankly, there have been no critical issues. Samsung makes a lot of phones, whether they are flagship or mid-range or budget phones. With that background, they have done a pretty good job with keeping all of their phones to a certain standard in terms of longevity. And that is something that I know is important to a lot of consumers when investing in such an expensive device. Also, Samsung phones are very inexpensive to repair because of how they are built and how common they are becoming. In terms of price, it does retail for a steep $930, but I've said in previous videos that Samsung has really done a good job of giving you bang for your buck. You get just about every feature you could ask for in a smartphone along with included $100 earphones and fast charging accessories. Also, there are deals circulating right now, so you won't necessarily have to pay that retail price for the phone. With everything I've said about this phone, there has to be a catch, right? Because it can't be this complete of a package. But frankly, it is really close to a complete package, but there are some drawbacks that I want to mention. The phone has a single, poor quality down-firing speaker that gets easily covered even if I hold the phone in a natural position. I wish Samsung would have at least utilized the phone calling speaker for stereo sound. Also, the battery life isn't that great. I understand that Samsung was playing it safe with the battery and it usually does make it through a day's usage. But there have been days where I do feel inclined to charge it in the evening because it dips below 10 or 15%. Lastly, the fingerprint sensor placement is bad. I have big hands and don't have a problem unlocking it on a daily basis, but I could easily see someone with smaller hands having issues unlocking their phone. Other phones simply have better rear fingerprint scanner placements. For a phone that costs as much as the Note 8 does, people expect an almost perfect, well-rounded phone, and that is what the Note 8 is. It's a phone that has a clean and snappy user interface with lots of software features that could prove to be very useful. It's a phone that has just about every feature you could want in a flagship, packaged into a phone that also happens to have the best display. It's a phone that has top-notch specifications and a solid camera. The Samsung Galaxy Note 8 is such an easy phone to recommend because of how well-rounded it is. Through this video, I've shown you why many people view it as the best phone made to date. That's all I had to talk about today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.